Do you think John Constantine could summon demons to fight Trigon? Remember Trigon? Yes, the conqueror of the universe, the absolute embodiment of pure evil, an all-powerful being, yet unable to sense the awakening of evil within his own bloodline. Trigon, his uppermost eye, offers infinite vision, encompassing the entire space he occupies. A being who once dared to defy precedents, a terror that spread throughout the universe, is burning in a sacred place, and while he faces the flames that rise around him, his children, the ones who should inherit his dark legacy, are running away in shame. A sight beyond irony, a situation so bizarre that even demons would have trouble imagining it. An evil entity that could have tracked down his daughter in a completely different dimension, dedicated to global peace. Not a peaceful planet in a sea of random lifeforms. Another important factor that we haven't mentioned is Trigon's spy network. Not only does he control the demons from hell, but he also manipulates countless powerful cults around the world. Trigon is certainly more deeply embedded in human civilization than we think. He is not simply an evil entity, but a symbolic force, the Church of Blood being just one of many that have placed their faith in him. In fact, we also know that Trigon is the foundation for the Church's long-standing existence. And it doesn't stop there. Tales of the Teen Titans introduced yet another cult, further expanding Trigon's reach in the DC universe. John Constantine may not be a god, but his cunning and deceit are almost unmatched. Notice, no matter how dangerous the situation, he always maintains an incredible level of calm. Constantine understands how the dark world works, knows exactly what his limits are, and what he can and cannot do. Instead of confronting them head-on, he chooses to negotiate. He turns the gods against each other, pulling strings to bring powerful entities to war while he stands on the sidelines, watching everything fall apart in a fiery chaos. Constantine once faced the Infernal Triad, the three ultimate rulers of hell, and he played a dangerous game. He sold his soul to all three rulers at once. He had cancer and was dying. Constantine had calculated that as soon as he died, all three lords of hell would engage in a civil war over his soul. That created a situation that no one would dare to compromise. Rather than risk a war of attrition between the forces of hell, the Triad were forced to concede to them curing Constantine's cancer just to avoid the chaos he had deliberately set up. A perfect move, a deception that even the demons would admire. I mean, he outwitted God here. John had convinced God that if he died and remained in hell, he would eventually take over. And God, who had been playing the lords of hell against each other until the final war, could not afford an organized and disciplined hell. You see, he created an elaborate illusion after being bound by the cap of destiny to make Nabu think they were in front of Anubis, forcing Nabu to prove his altruism was real. When he won his game and actually convinced the Lord of Order that he was dead just so he could take off the cap, you see my point. Constantine is a quick-witted, manipulative bastard. He admits it. He knows how to deal with the worst of the worst, and trust me, his villains make Batman's gang of thugs look like a Salvation Army. It's never about power, it's about intelligence. Also, the fact that he has almost no morals, he'll do what needs to be done, no matter the consequences. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon and turn on notifications to see the earliest videos. Thank you very much. Under Trigon's cold gaze, John Constantine stood face to face with this mighty entity. For some reason, perhaps out of pure cruelty, Trigon did not immediately destroy him, but gave Constantine a few minutes to act, instead of squeezing his body and crushing it to ashes. Once again, in a decision that was incomprehensible, Constantine chose to summon a group of Balrogs to fight in his stead. However, as soon as they appeared, the demons immediately scanned the room, and the moment they recognized the terrifying presence before them, they were engulfed in absolute terror. These mighty creatures immediately cowered, trembled, and groaned, turning to Constantine with utter despair. "Don't you understand where you just summoned us? It's Trigon! It's Trigon! Why are you tormenting us like this, John Constantine? What wrong have we done to you? Please, take us back. Take us back now." Trigon, no, don't leave yet. I enjoy having new friends to entertain me. In Trigon's omniscient view, every being has value, even small demonic creatures like you. Trigon raised his eyebrows, his eyes glowing with cruel delight, as the tentacles of pure evil energy wrapped around the trembling demons. The sense of impending destruction made them scream, not for life, but for release from the endless suffering they knew would befall them. Demons, we pledge our allegiance to you forever, great Trigon. We will spread evil and carnage in your name until the end of time. We are ready to destroy ourselves, ready to prostrate ourselves at your feet. Hail Trigon! Praise Trigon! Please have mercy on us. Trigon narrowed his eyes, his deep voice booming like thunder, filled with authority. Trigon, you dare accuse Trigon the Merciless of being merciful? What a contemptible insult. An intolerable disrespect. That alone is enough to send you to 100 lifetimes of pain in the eternal fire, where your deepest selves will be burned to the ground. Trigon ruthlessly peeled off chunks of rotting flesh from the demon's trembling skeletons, scattering them into the cold wind of the abyss. Their souls had no chance of escape, swallowed and imprisoned forever in the fiery hell that was Trigon's very being. Inside, the endless hunger for evil never stopped, crushing each piece of soul, gnawing at them slowly, painfully. Trigon. Ah, evil in any form has its own flavor, a taste seasoned with sin. Thank you, John Constantine. Feeding the sharks with fish, offering rats to distract the lions, John Constantine opened his mouth to speak, to cast a spell, to utter a taunt, to throw out an offer, or to make a deal. His sharp tongue had never betrayed him, never left him confused or flustered. But now, under Trigon's gaze, for the first time in his life, it might not be fast enough. Trigon, a mouth that does not praise the almighty Trigon is of no use and must be silenced. John Constantine attempts to cast a spell, but realizes that the trivial magic he commands is nothing more than a thin and glittering thing in a realm that obeys only the will of Trigon. Trigon, unauthorized casting is a grave sin in my realm. Only my anointed priests may summon according to their calling. The sentence is eternal torment. The demons of the DC universe are mere creatures compared to an entity that consists of the forces of evil gathered from hundreds of galaxies. And he feeds on evil. He craves it more than anything. What do you think of this battle? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all very much.